All right, I want to step in here this evening. It is now 6:04, and for anybody joining us from the Southern Valley, that's where we have had the strongest storms coming in out of northern Alabama, where we've had a confirmed tornado on the ground, already had tornado warnings. And the latest with this is the National Weather Service has issued a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. This runs until 6:45. This does include Hamilton County and surrounding counties. So this does include Hamilton and Marion, as well as just on the outskirts of Sequatchie County anyways. And so folks joining us from Chattanooga, what you're looking at here on the top of the screen just above me is a TDOT camera there at Interstate 24 just outside of Chattanooga. So you can start to see the rain already settling its way on in, and we'll be able to take those full here in just a little bit. But we have had rotation within the side of this storm as well. So we are on the high top radar. Let's go ahead into the velocity products and talk about the spin that's showing up with this storm. So we do have some broad spin showing up right now. Definitely have had rotating thunderstorms showing up. So right around the Lads area, it is just to the north of the White Side, working its way towards Lookout Mountain, Chattanooga, Red Bank, and Walden. And so it is a rotating supercell thunderstorm that has the potential for a tornado. Now, again, we're going to continue to watch this closely as we can get little tiny spin-ups showing up with this storm system. When you look at the shear product, most of the shear, the wind and the spinning part of the storm system is going to be right over the Lads and the White Side area. Even though we have some notches on the radar on the northern side of that, so we'll have to watch out for that as well, because that's typically where you get the inflow of these storms. But when you look and diagnose the storm itself within the radar, we don't necessarily have a whole lot of spin up in that part of the storm so far. So again, heads up if you're joining us from Chattanooga, if you are, in and around the Chattanooga area, inside this destructive severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued by the National Weather Service, running until 6:45. Please like and share this live broadcast, and make sure that you track it with the interactive radar on the East Tennessee Weather app. I'm live on the app as well as YouTube and online at easttnweather.com. So you can put it up on the big screen if you need to. But right outside of the White Side area, we've got a thunderstorm and a complex of storms. When you widen the view out a little bit, you can see the complex of storms that are moving their way out of northern Alabama. And again, they're moving basically right along the Tennessee-Alabama border, tracking a little bit more now to the north and northeast. So I'd say places like Cleveland, anybody from McMinn County, Monroe County, I'd say stay weather alert, because this is just off to your west. You can see how it's tracking to the east, but then has a little bit more of a east-northeast projection towards it, for it anyway. So again, if you're joining us from the Chattanooga area, Southern Valley, south of Interstate 40, stay weather alert. This is basically the extent of the stormy weather. Yeah, we've had some heavier rainfall already with the storms moving in and around central Knox County, but the storm at hand is the one that's had tornado warnings. Now, we do have tornado warnings now currently on the southern side of that. This is going to be south into northern, moving out of Alabama into northern Georgia. So right around the Ringgold area. Ringgold, I don't necessarily, not officially in a tornado warning, but right around the Chickamauga area. So Trenton, anybody in northern Georgia definitely needs to stay weather alert and take shelter associated with this storm. But if you're joining us from Red Bank, Saudi Daisy, Collegedale, East Bernard, and Chattanooga, you're definitely going to be in the thick of things here for a little bit longer. Whitwell, Victoria, Sequatchie, you're in the thick of it right now, but the rain should be coming to an end here shortly. So, and same with you folks joining us from South Pittsburgh as well. So improving conditions there, but definitely something that we're going to continue to monitor. Let's see. Anybody saying anything on the chat? Is this storm coming our way? I don't know where our way is, Alexa. So if you have questions, put them in. Put as much information as you possibly can, because, again, we do cover all of East Tennessee. Let me move that out of the way here. All right, so we've got severe weather moving across the Southern Valley. Nothing else for the rest of East Tennessee. I'll take a quick sneak peek at the radar across the rest of town. We'll switch over to the Morristown radar. And, again, we've got some pretty good showers and thunderstorms across upper East Tennessee along the I-81 corridor, down into parts of Blount County as well. So heads up, Sevier County, you got some pretty good rain showers on the way. No severe weather there. But again, the storm at hand is going to be the one down across the Southern Valley, moving its way into Chattanooga. When you look on the leading edge of the storm, we've got a lot of wind. And so a lot of wind with this. When you highlight some of the wind, some of the winds out of this so far have been upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour, especially when they're right next to the high top radar. Right now, looking at about, say 30, 40 mile per hour winds possibly. Let's go a little bit 40, 45 mile per hour winds. And so we are looking at 40 to 50 plus mile per hour winds, a destructive storm. So we have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued by the National Weather Service. I would say if you're joining us from McMinn or Monroe or Polk County, even the southern parts of Ray and Meigs County, I would say stay weather alert here. Most of it's going to be further to our south. Let's see here. There we go. So again, most of it. So I'd say anybody north of Dunlap, Bakewell. So right now I'd say Dayton, Athens, Madisonville, and Tellico Plains. You're probably good for a little bit. Maybe Athens, Tellico Plains, Cleveland. You probably need to stay weather alert for a little bit longer. And let's see what this storm does as it moves its way on through. You can see Interstate 24 right there. Let me take a different view. Let's see if we can't get a different view from that TDOT camera here. So this is going to be, well, that kind of gives you an idea. So I'll take that full here. So you can see that's right there. That's right there at Interstate 140 at 304. So we've got some pretty good heavy rainfall right there. Moving into Chattanooga. So right here, we should have some pretty good rain. Getting ready to rain pretty good here. That is at Highway 24. Interstate 24, I should say. If we can get it to load. There it goes. So the rain is starting to move its way into the extreme western sections of town. Let's try to find a different camera here for you. So anybody from Chattanooga, we've got some pretty good thunderstorms moving on in. So let's take it back to the radar. The National Weather Service has issued a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. That's why we did a different shaded color to it. On this warning itself, and again, tornado warnings down into northern Georgia at this hour. But on this warning right now, it runs until 6:45 this evening. At 5:55, a severe thunderstorm was located over Jasper, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and track this for you. If we were to move this at 50 miles per hour, don't worry, I'll change it here. I know it says 100 miles per hour, but it's not. Let's go 60 minutes. All right, so this is who's in the path of the storm. So we're looking at Lookout Mountain at 6:14. It is now 6:12. Chattanooga 6:16. So stay alert, Chattanooga. If you're joining us, severe thunderstorm warning. You can see those popping up there at the bottom of the screen. Chattanooga, Roseville 6:18. Signal Mountain 6:18. Walden at 6:19. East Ridge at 6:20. Red Bank 6:22. And Lakeside at 6:29. Chickamauga Dam at 6:26. So again, we're starting to get some rotation with that because you can kind of see that little ball, the little spin showing up. And so when you look inside of that, that's what we need to watch for closely. So if you're joining us from Chattanooga, we do have the potential for a tornado on this. It is not a tornado warned storm, but we do have the potential for a tornado on this due to the fact that we do have a rotating part of the storm with you. So it is moving its way into Chattanooga. So I'd say if you're joining us from Red Bank, Chattanooga, East Ridge, probably a good idea to head indoors, head into the interior part of your buildings, offices, or your homes. Now, this is not necessarily tornado warned, but it is showing signs of rotation. Not to mention some of these winds. I mean, we're looking at 83 mile per hour winds showing up right there just outside of Lookout Mountain. Now, again, this is coming in from the high top radar, so it's shooting up a little bit higher up in elevation, but this is radar beam height wind. And so as the further you go away from the radar, the higher in the atmosphere you get. So this is just off the surface, though. So 83 mile per hour winds are possible that could be transferred down to the surface. When you look at rotation with this, your rotation is going to be showing up right here in this area, just on the outside. So just moving its way towards Red Bank and Chattanooga right now. So I would definitely take shelter, head into the interior parts of your house. When you look at the radar aspect of this, you can see where we're starting to see a little bit of that showing up right now. So again, straight line winds is starting to bow out a little bit. that is the sign, and that's why we do have those strong winds that are getting ready to work their way right along Highway 24, Interstate 24, I should say, right over Lookout Mountain. So some of the strongest winds are going to be moving right over Lookout Mountain at, let's see, 91-mile-per-hour winds right now. Again, this is radar beam height, but just off the surface, we've got incredible wind that could be transferred down, and so we need to watch that closely. No reports right now in Marion County. That's good news to pass along. A lot of tree branches being reported blown down, but nothing structural in the neighborhoods that we could see. Thank goodness for that. That's coming in from the EMA in Chattanooga. The highest winds are straddling the state line right now. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a potential for a tornado. So we need to watch that. So really nasty winds. Conditions are going to go downhill real quick in Chattanooga. I mean, that camera right there is just on the, that's US 27 and Martin Luther King Boulevard is what you're looking there on the TDOT camera right above me. Got some of the other cameras rolling on. We also have a radar loop at the top center of your screen, so you can kind of get an idea of how this is all looping out. We'll kind of show you what it looks like closer to Chattanooga there. So that's the cell that's moving in Chattanooga in the top right-hand side of the screen. So that's what we're looping here. So the National Weather Service has updated the severe thunderstorm warning right now. Severe thunderstorm warning, which prompted the warning, has moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. Let's see what this is for. Let's see. The destructive part of the warning has been canceled. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 6:45 for southern Sequatchie and Hamilton counties. At 6:15, and it is now 6:17. At 6:15, a severe thunderstorm was located near Ridgeside or near Chattanooga, moving east at 55 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm for Chattanooga, according to the National Weather Service. So head inside. We've got Soddy Daisy, Chattanooga, Signal Mountain, Roswell, Walden, Lakeside, Ridgeside, Fairmont, Harrison, and Red Bank. See if I can get the words out here. This obviously does include Interstate 75 right there in downtown Chattanooga. So that's what we're looking at right now. Tornado warning in northern Georgia, working its way towards Ringgold right now. And some of the strongest winds are just now moving right along the Lookout Mountain area. So Lookout Mountain, some of the strongest winds just to the south of downtown Chattanooga. Right now, pushing about 50, 55 mile per hour winds. Excuse me, that was the velocity. About 80 mile per hour winds just to the south of Chattanooga, moving its way over Lookout Mountain. So Ridgeside, East Ridge, East Bernard, Chattanooga, heads up. And anybody further to the north, now again, I would imagine this is probably going to stay south of Dayton, Athens, Tellico Plains, probably going to stay south of you, but definitely something to watch closely. What about Bristol? Nowhere near anything near Bristol. Let's see if there's anything going on up in Bristol. Nothing near Bristol right now. So we are smooth sailing across much of the rest of town, even though we had some pretty good showers. We've got some pretty good showers up towards Bristol, Kingsport, Tri-Cities right now. A little bit of rain showing up in Blount County, Sevier County. Some good downpours, either way you look at it. I mean, we've got some heavy rain that's been with us, and this is the kind of loaded atmosphere. Now, we're going to lose a lot of this moisture real quickly overnight tonight, and that is going to allow things to really kind of quiet down for a couple of days before the rain moves its way back in. So really the only storm that we're going to be really watching here at this hour, and I think things will gradually improve here, is the one moving its way through Chattanooga. That's the only storm at hand. So if you're not in anywhere around this area, then you probably are going to be doing okay for the rest of the evening hours. It's 6:19, by the way. It is Monday, June 22nd, the first full day, by the way, of summer. And some good, solid summertime storms are with us here for the evening rush hour. Again, that live look there in Chattanooga. I told you those conditions will deteriorate pretty quickly. Let's take that camera full. This is US 275 right there in downtown Chattanooga. And so this is the camera that was completely dry about 3 minutes ago. And now is bouncing around a lot over there in Chattanooga. So Chattanooga is going to get some good, solid, gusty winds. We're going to stick with that camera here for a second. Put the radar up here as well. So you can see how the storm in the top right-hand side is moving its way right into downtown Chattanooga. Folks are going to be moving right into that, driving right into that. How's it going, Andrea? You're absolutely very welcome. You're in East Ridge right now. So, again, if you're at East Ridge, you definitely should. You're probably getting the thick of it right now. And if, by all means, Andrea, if you'd like to join live onto the program and give us a live weather report from up there, you're more than welcome to. I just threw a link into the chat itself. So if you want to go ahead and grab that link, if you want to join us, you can grab that link and join live on the broadcast. Give us an update what's going on in the East Ridge area, since that's where you're joining. But either way, I'm here to keep you up to date, and we'll keep an eye on these storms here for the rest of the evening as they continue to work their way to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So they're moving right along. All right, let's go back to the radar. We'll keep that camera right there in downtown Chattanooga up and running. So we're getting some of the strongest wind right now is moving its way through Chattanooga and Red Bank. So that's going to be working its way towards Middle Valley, Soddy Daisy, Collegedale, right along Interstate 75. You got the Chickamauga Dam. So it's getting ready to move right over the Chickamauga Dam right there from Colonial Village, from Dallas Heights to Battery Heights, Harbor Heights, Logan Heights, and Colonial Shores. Middle Valley, Lakeside, all going to be in the path of this as well. So Tellico Plains is probably going to be okay. I would imagine you can see how this is basically, it's shifting a little bit further to the north. And so we could see that clip Tellico Plains, but at 55 miles per hour, I mean, it's going to be a while. Even if it took a beeline to you, I mean, you're looking at you're looking at an hour and 37 minutes or so. So it's going to be a while before it moves on in, but it shouldn't hold together. I don't imagine that it's going to hold together. So I think you'll probably be fine. Just make sure you track it with the interactive radar. The East Tennessee Weather App's going to help you out. Go and take that camera full once again. Here's a live view from downtown Chattanooga. You can see the wind-driven rain as the bulk of the rain is moving its way in right now. And the heaviest rain, downpours, sideways rain, traffic is really, I mean, that camera has gone down quickly from what we were showing you even 10 minutes ago. Sweetwater's going to be fine, I would imagine, Dwayne. But definitely, worth watching. Let's see what it does. It's likely just going to skirt right along the Tennessee-Georgia border. Is likely the case. All right. 10 miles going to be okay. I would imagine 10 miles okay as well. So really, Georgetown, Camelot, Charleston, Etowah, I'd say Tellico Plains. I'll just call out Tellico Plains just to be on the safe side. Anybody south of those areas. So basically, Indian Boundary, Tellico Plains, Etowah, Georgetown and Charleston. South of that, that's Cleveland and Benton. So this is moving its way right into Middle Valley, Saudi Daisy, moving through Chattanooga right now. And that's what you're looking at there on the screen, is a live look from downtown Chattanooga. West Knoxville is going to be just fine. Luttrell's just fine. This is solely for the Southern Valley. Saudi Daisy. So Saudi Daisy, heads up. You're going to be on the northern side of that, Kim. So the heaviest rain and the strongest wind is going to be just to your south. And that's where we have the strongest rotation as well. That's where the wind is going to be the strongest. Now, we're still starting to see some broad rotation right here. So we're looking at the high top radar. Green is towards the radar. Red is away from the radar. So this is your broad rotation. You can't see that on the map, but I will take that so you can see that. There you go. So there's your broad rotation. When they switch to some other products, we've got the shear associated with it. And that's where the spin is showing up. But again, broad rotation. That's where some of the strongest winds have been. If they're being transferred to the surface, there's 73-mile-per-hour winds there in the Eastridge area. It looks like somebody was trying to ring in here. If you're trying to ring in, try to ring in again. I heard you. If you want to give us a weather report from the Southern Valley, if you're happen to be in the middle of this. So we're just going to stick with this storm. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This does run until 6:45. Conditions have gone downhill pretty quickly in Chattanooga, but now shifting eastward pretty quickly. So if I were to take, I'm going to head over here to the Eastridge area. So here's another live view of that storm moving its way. Let's see if once it starts spinning here. So there's that. That is Interstate 75. Interstate 75. The camera's bouncing around a lot. And again, this is just on the northeastern side of downtown Chattanooga. You're in Ooltewah, not here yet. Thanks, David. I appreciate you. Yeah, this storm system did have a tornado on the ground in northern Alabama, had a confirmed tornado warning in northern Alabama, not in East Tennessee, and we continue to have a tornado warning in northern Georgia right now. But right now, the strongest wind is really what we're going to be highlighting here with this. And I think the strongest wind is working its way towards the just on the eastern side of town as well. So Collegedale, Cleveland, Middle Valley, and Saudi Daisy, strong winds. If they're not already in your area, they're going to be moving in here very shortly. Should we expect anything other than rain in Alcoa? Yeah, I think this is going to be it. I think once this comes on through, we'll still see some heavier rain because we still have more storms off to our west and northwest. So we'll still have to watch that here. When you look at the U.S. radar, here's a loop of the U.S. radar, so we can kind of get an idea of what's going on the back side of that. So you can see how we still have to watch this stuff. This stuff is all going to be lifting its way north and northeast into our area. So it's a little upper level system that's going to be sliding its way on through. So all that back towards Nashville and further to the west, it still has to come on through overnight tonight. But I think the strongest storms are going to be now. Then it just transitions over to a heavy rain event here on the backside of that. So we've got the majority of our energy is moving its way through right now. All right, let's take it back down to Chattanooga and show you what's going on, because we do have a nasty storm with a severe thunderstorm warning currently attached to this storm system. We had a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, but is now just a severe thunderstorm warning. And it looks like maybe a new severe thunderstorm warning is going to be coming out here in just a moment. All right, here's a picture of that storm in Chattanooga. That is a picture of the storm in Chattanooga. Look at that storm. That is incredible. That is from, let's see, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. That's the EM over at the University of Chattanooga. Downtown Chattanooga near the aquarium is where that storm is right there. So that's the one we're talking about. That's the one that's moving through. And that's the one that you see right there on the screen. So new severe thunderstorm warning now has been issued for Bradley County. That's going to include McMinn County as well as Polk County. So Bradley, McMinn, and Polk County until 7:15. New severe thunderstorm warning by the National Weather Service. So they're just going to issue severe thunderstorm warnings way ahead of the storm. So if the storm is moving at 55 miles per hour, let's go ahead and track that for you, give you some updated times on this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, these will continue to move to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So there are some of the cities within that storm. I'll take this out to, let's just go out to 45 minutes. Let's give us a better idea. So Saudi Daisy obviously moved its way into your area right now. Again, you're on the northern side of that, so less destructive wind on this northern side. I think heading into the College Dale area, that's where we're going to see some of the strongest winds. So Ringgold 633, Lakeside 635, College Dale 635, Vernell 642, Cleveland 650, and Benton at 704 if this storm holds together. That's what we can expect. So new severe thunderstorm warning runs until 7:15 this evening. Again, that does include Bradley, McMinn, and Polk counties until 7:15. New severe thunderstorm warning. See, Danielle says, on our way home, had to stop and get gas in the food city in Trenton, Georgia. The tornado sirens went off and they rushed all of us into the meat department. She says, so far, all is good. I think it's passed mostly. Yeah, you should be just fine now. And that storm has continued to weaken as it moves its way eastward. But that's a little nerve-wracking there, Daniel. We're losing power down and across the Southern Valley for sure. So strong winds, not necessarily a concern as they reach Sevierville. Likely not the case. Likely not the case. Not like what we're seeing in Chattanooga right now, but of course we still have that risk for severe storms, so we'll have to watch these for the rest of the evening hours. But again, I think the bulk of it is happening right now. Then the atmosphere starts to quiet down. The piece of energy comes on through, and I don't necessarily think it's going to produce the severe weather like what we're seeing out there right now. So if you have any photos or videos, you can upload those through the East Tennessee Weather app. I'm going to check in on the content and see if we have any photos of this storm, and we do not really. So you can upload those through the East Tennessee Weather app. On the app itself, just scroll down to submit photos. It comes right into my computer if you upload one right now, and then I can share that on the broadcast. If you are joining on social media or YouTube and you don't have the app itself, make sure you go to the App Store and search East Tennessee Weather. Download it's 100% free, operated by yours truly, and of course the local businesses here around town. What about Knoxville? Is this coming to Knoxville? It is going to be coming to Knoxville, but I think the back edge of this, not necessarily the severe weather, Haley. So I think we're going to be doing just fine. All right, so a couple warnings. The strongest cells are moving through right along the Georgia-Tennessee border. Saudi Daisy, you're in the thick of things right now. Middle Valley, you're next in line. The storm is moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings with it. It's going to be at Lakeside at 6:35. The current time is now 6:34, so Lakeside pretty much right now. So we don't really have any strong shear with it. We do have some broad rotation. So again, when you see green and red on the map right here, when you're looking at storm relative velocity, here's your green, here's your red, and then green is towards the radar. Radar's over in northern Alabama. That's where this radar is. and red is away. So that's where you get your counterclockwise rotation. So that's what we're seeing right there, showing up just to the north and northwest of Collegedale. So it's broad rotation. So a mesocyclone, a storm spinning, and that's why we're seeing some really good, incredible structures like this on the screen because of that spinning motion of the atmosphere, and the storm itself produces what you see there on the screen. And so we're probably going to see these mesocyclones, but do they actually spin up? Do we get a wall cloud to drop down? Potentially, yes. So we do have rotation in the atmosphere. And so we do have to stay weather alert, especially if you're joining us from Saudi Daisy, Middle Valley, Cleveland, even Benton, Calhoun. I'd stay weather alert. Let's get this storm system to die down a little bit before you kind of let your guard down for the evening hours. But it's 6:35, so a lot of folks are out on the interstate. A lot of folks are going to be driving up and down the interstate to try to get home from work, maybe heading off to the grocery store or back home. So if you happen to know anybody in the southern part of town, and they're maybe not paying attention, we do have some pretty nasty weather moving on in. Let's see. Again, he never responds to YouTube chat like he does here. We are what? What are you saying over there? I see the YouTube chat over here. Philadelphia Outlook. Thanks in advance. Philadelphia should be just fine. So Philadelphia is in the clear. Not expecting much, at least in the short term. Now, again, we do have the broader upper part of the system that should swing on through and produce a little bit more rain before the night's over. Roane County is going to be doing just fine. This is solely right along the Georgia-Tennessee border. So Saudi Daisy, Cleveland, Red Bank, Chattanooga area, moving its way into Polk County. If you live outside of this area, there's nothing else really going on for the rest of East Tennessee, but you can clearly see storms back to our west, getting ready to work its way back just to the south and west of Nashville, I should say. So we have to watch out for those storms because this all will swing its way into our area. So is the backside of this all going to come on through? Yes. So through the nighttime hours, this will all come on through, but the majority of the severe weather should be right now, and I don't really anticipate a whole lot of severe weather from here on out once this cell passes us by. But again, as the upper level system comes on through, we'll have to see how it all plays out before the day is over. Yeah, Kim, I try to answer as many questions as I possibly can on YouTube, so ask away. I try to answer them every single day. You're very welcome. How do we look in Greenville County, Greenville County for later tonight? Could see some showers, some thunderstorms, but I don't necessarily know that we're going to have a lot of severe weather from here on out. Morgan County, you should be just fine as we will continue to see most of this south of you. And same with you folks in Tellico Plains, although Tellico Plains, you're a little bit closer, so if these kind of continue that trajectory out of Saudi Daisy towards Tellico Plains, you could be clipped on the northern side of this. We do have somebody getting ready to join us here on the chat, so let me go ahead and bring Randy up to the conversation here in just a second. So Randy, I'll get to work with you here in just a moment. Let's get you up on the screen here. All right, let's change your camera view. I got hold on, Randy. We got somebody that's going to report for us here this evening. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome Randy to the conversation. Randy, tell us where you are joining us from. And let's see, did that work? Did not work. There you are. How's it going, Randy? How are you, my friend? Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Yeah, I think you're frozen. Randy's frozen. Randy, hang up and call back in. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning continues at this hour till 7:15 for McMinn, Polk, and Bradley County. Notice it is just to the north of Charleston, or it extends just to the north side of Charleston, south of Riceville. Englewood, you're probably okay. Etowah, I'd say heads up. Tellico Plains, I would say weather alert as well. Anybody right around the Bald River Falls, Indian Boundary area, and of course Ducktown and McKaysville. This is all south of Interstate 40 and across the Southern Valley. So Sweetwater should be just fine. Greene County should be just fine until, again, Kodak's doing just fine. So anybody along Interstate 40 north, you are doing just fine. Anybody south in the Southern Valley, by all means. Come on, Randy, you can. You can join me live. Anybody can join me live. I put the live. If you have a report to pass along, you can join me live on the broadcast. I just put a link into the broadcast itself right there on the screen. So you can click that link and join the broadcast and give us an update from your area if you happen to have an update for me. All right, here's some other pictures coming out of Signal Mountain. I mean, this is the kind of storm we were dealing with down in Chattanooga. Take a look at this. This is incredible images. Again, coming in, looks like from the EMA in Chattanooga. So let's see, get a couple other ones on there. I mean, that right there is an incredible looking storm. It is water loaded. It's got a lot of wind with it. It's got a lot of destruction with it. Power outages are taking place. We got over 2,000 people without power in Bradley County. So 2,000 people without power there. Right on the Sequatchie area, we've got over 800 people without power. So yeah, we do have power outages. Thanks to this bow echo. It's basically bowing out now. So again, the leading edge of that. Let me go back to the radar here. All right, so you see how it's kind of bowing out there? So anybody that's joining us from Cleveland, Benton, along 411, 64. Let's see what other, you get down into the Bennett Acres, Dockery, Black Fox, Vernell Estates, Twin Oaks, Red Hill, Nantahala Estates, Cedar Spring, Flint Springs, Felker. You're all in the path of some pretty strong wind. A little bit of rotation, so we are still getting broad rotation with this storm. When you look inside the wind itself, we're still getting upwards of 40, 50 mile per hour winds. So still getting some strong winds. Let's see if I'm on the right radar here. There we go. No, I was not on the right radar. All right. So on the right radar, this is the high top radar. Again, this storm, just the strongest part of it's just to the south of Collegedale. This storm, the width of it's over 10 miles anyways. It is tracking to the east-northeast now at 33 miles per hour. And we got upwards of 70, 80 mile per hour winds within this storm. We don't have too many Witcher Weather Watchers down in Chattanooga, but if you are interested in becoming a Witcher Weather Watcher, a storm spotter with East Tennessee Weather, you got to officially become a storm spotter with the National Weather Service first. I have a link on my website at easttnweather.com. Just click on the weather section, click on Witcher Weather Watchers at the bottom, go take the virtual course with the National Weather Service, and send me an email, info@easttnweather.com, and you can become a Witcher Weather Watcher for East Tennessee. So we're trying to cover all of East Tennessee. Got 81 Witcher Weather Watchers painted across all of East Tennessee's boots on the ground, storm spotters, and just weather enthusiasts that are trying to learn a lot and really help a lot with a lot of information that they're passing along as well. Well, thanks, Curtis. I appreciate you, my friend. Sure hope you have a great night. When's it going to hit Knoxville? It's probably not going to hit. I mean, through the overnight hours, we're going to still see likely some rain showers, but what you're seeing on the screen here is not going to hit Knoxville. It is literally going to stay south of Athens, likely. In Tellico Plains, probably not even going to hit Tellico Plains, but we're going to watch it as we still have that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. It's now 6:45 here on this Monday night. So strong winds, upwards of 40, 50, 60 mile per hour winds showing up with this. 70 mile per hour winds showing up with this storm. 71 right there. When you look at the rotation, broad rotation showing up, and that's about it. So not too concerning when it comes to tornadoes so far, but these kind of storms can kind of wind up pretty quickly. And at this point of the game, I would imagine that we are just going to get straight line winds with this. And that's exactly what this little shear product is. The green that you see on the map don't have a lot of rotation. So when you look at the winds being transferred or potentially being transferred to the surface, again, about 75-mile-per-hour winds, which of course signifies a severe thunderstorm warning. Here's the latest skit coming in from the in-house model. So we're looking at the tops of these storms at over 18,000 feet. Let's see, BTI, so a Barron Tornado Index, that's that BTI number that you see, is a 3.7. So that's out of a 1 to 10 scale. It is up on the higher side, considering where we live here in the southeastern U.S., or at least in East Tennessee anyways. But when you look at the velocity on this product, so I don't see anything to be concerned about when it comes to rotating thunderstorms. But as I have clearly been showing you, we have had the storm has been looking like this down in Chattanooga. So that's the storm we're talking about. And that's going to bring in incredible amounts of rain in a short amount of time. Here's another view of that storm. So again, this is the storm that we're talking about that is causing the mess in Chattanooga, or surrounding areas anyways. Is it going under East Tennessee, Mike Witcher? It's clipping the southern valley of East Tennessee, but not necessarily going to be affecting all of East Tennessee, if that makes sense. But strong winds, and that's going to be the biggest threat right now for Cleveland, Benton, anybody along 411 at 64. Just got another radar update. So, right on the leading edge of that, we got 50, 60, there's 55. But inside, this is what could be transferred down to the surface. So the winds coming up aloft gets thrown down to the surface, and that's where we can see damaging wind gusts. So that's what we have to watch for this one. Again, I don't see really anything too crazy and too concerned about when it comes to rotation so far, which is great news. We don't want those rotating thunderstorms, but again, these straight line winds can do just as much damage and destruction. And that's what we're seeing we're seeing it bow out. And see that little bow segment is literally the winds on the backside of it pushing the leading edge of that storm forward, because the winds aloft are so strong, they come down to the surface and push everything forward. La Follette, no way, not even close. All right, we got somebody else that's going to join us here this evening. Let's see if we can get you on the screen. We got Ethan that's going to be joining us here in just a second. Stand by, Ethan. I'll be right with you. All right, Ethan, you ready to go? Well, I can't take you if you're going to show me line. There we go. Okay, well, Ethan's not coming to the platform, I guess. We'll come back, I guess. Anyway, so let's take you back down. That's a live look there from Chattanooga on the Interstate 75. It was a mess a little bit ago because we had some nasty wind. There's the radar loop over the last several hours, so you can see how that's really been, moved right through Chattanooga. And when you take a look at some of the live cameras here, that's a live look there on Norris Lake here. So somebody's out there on the jet ski. No storms to worry about right around Norris Lake. We're doing just fine. You're very welcome, Nikki. The storm is not going to be necessarily headed to Knoxville. The bulk of the storm is like but not the severe storm that we're dealing with at this hour. So the whole system itself, yes, is going to be swinging its way through, which likely will keep us with some rain chances overnight tonight. Maybe some thunderstorms, some good heavy rain. But really, the dew points are going to drop pretty quickly here through the evening and overnight hours. And so that drier air is going to settle its way back in. How bad is it going to be in the Ottawa, Collegedale area? Well, it's already improved. So you're doing fine. So there's Collegedale in the center of your screen. And so Collegedale is on the back side of that. All right, so National Weather Service has issued, again, a severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll get that new update here in just a second. So this is going to be for Bradley, Hamilton, McMinn, and Polk County. So they issued a severe thunderstorm warning at 6:47. The current time is 6:49. At 6:47, a severe thunderstorm was located over Wildwood Lake and or near Cleveland, moving east at 50 miles per hour. We're talking about winds greater than 60 miles per hour, damage to roof side, and of course in trees. So places like Cleveland, Benton, Charleston, South Cleveland, East Cleveland, Wildwood Lake, Calhoun, Waterville, and the Big Frog Mountain area. This does include Interstate 75, so stay weather alert if you're joining us there. The strongest part of the storm actually is now on the northern side of that. You can see maybe the potential for either some hail or just a solid downpour. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of your precipitation rates with this. So precip rates are going to be well over 3 or 4 inches per hour. So those are going to be solid downpours moving its way into the Camelot, Georgetown, Charleston, Cleveland, and maybe Riceville and Benton. So heads up there, incredible amounts of rain that could bring in some localized flooding and flash flooding. Can't rule that out. So that's what we're talking about right there. When it looks at the hail products. So hail's not really going to be a major concern because, well, the atmosphere, the freezing levels are way too high in the atmosphere. Okay, good. But for now, what about the Chatsworth, Georgia area? I'm not quite sure where that, there. Well, you're under a tornado warning in Chatsworth, tornado. So you're under a tornado warning right now. If you want to, go ahead and follow Majestic Weather. Greg over there in northern Georgia is doing exactly what I do here in East Tennessee. And so he'll be covering that storm down in northern Georgia. But right around the Dalton area, we do have a tornado warning. Eaton, Chatsworth, Tunnel Hill. And so we currently have a tornado warning now showing up in that area. So severe weather right along the Tennessee-Georgia border. Strongest storms for us here in East Tennessee. Severe thunderstorm warning continues right now until 7:30. Georgetown, Camelot, Cleveland, Benton, Charleston, all in the path of this storm. Ducktown, you'd be next. Etowah, Tellico Plains, maybe Tellico Plains if this holds together. Pigeon Forge should be doing just fine. Nothing with this storm anyways. Time estimates for Knoxville overnight tonight. This is not going to be affecting the Knoxville area. You're very welcome, Tammy. Yeah, this one's not coming to Knoxville, people. This is just staying right along the Tennessee-Georgia border. Thank you for answering our question. Yeah, you're welcome. Did I answer your question? Hopefully I answered your question. What about Union County? Union County is doing great. So, Wendy, there's your question. I don't know if I answered that or not, but yeah, Union County will be just fine. How's it going to be in Corrington Halls and Fountain City? Doing just fine. Sure, we still have some rain showers overnight tonight, but that's going to be about the extent of it. So, really, it's just the leading edge of this storm this evening right along the Tennessee-Georgia border. So, let me show you the big picture here. We'll just take you to the weather maps. I was getting ready to do my evening update. I haven't even done my evening update yet. But let me show you the big picture. So this is the general idea of what's going on. We pick up our timeline now. Of course, that's not to say all be all, but see that little back edge? That's the whole, all that moisture still could be seen through the overnight hours. So I think the leading edge of what we're seeing right now is the severe weather potential. But as this whole system winds up and moves through overnight tonight, still expect some rain showers. So we could have some wet and soggy conditions early tomorrow morning, but then we'll likely see improving conditions throughout the day tomorrow because look at this. I mean, our dew points have been hovering in the 70s. That's that moisture that we felt today, that very tropical-like air that we felt. Notice dew points are coming down through the overnight hours and through the day tomorrow, and that is going to make the air feel really nice and pleasant as we get into our Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But we're back to that really muggy category Friday, Saturday, and Sunday once again as more humidity starts to work its way back in, which ultimately I think just leads to afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But again, the big risk for weather today has been across the state of Tennessee, not just for flooding and flash flooding, but across much of our region for severe weather. Rain chances after tonight fade away Tuesday, Wednesday. And then they kind of bring back a chance for some afternoon showers and storms Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. More of that typical kind of June weather pattern. You heat up the atmosphere, you get some pop-up thunderstorms. Other than that, all we have to do is contend with what is going on out there right now, which, of course, is severe weather across the Southern Valley, moving its way out of Chattanooga, right over Cleveland right now. and moving its way towards Charleston, Benton, along 411. Etowah is probably going to see some probably going to get some storms out of the Etowah area. Some other communities involved or in the path of this would say places like Eureka, Hooper Acres, Fairview. How about Arrow Point, Clymer, American Heritage, if any of these, Foxfire. Not the Foxfire in West Knoxville, though. And then right there along the 6440, 411, right over the Ocoee. So you got Camp Ocoee over here. You got Caney Creek, Parksville, Old Front. So heads up if you're joining us from there. You got Benton Springs, and then, of course, Benton Station, all in the path of this and included in the severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm just kind of highlighting a bunch of different locations along the leading edge of this. It does appear that we are getting that bow echo, that bowing of the storm itself. It does appear that we're probably losing a lot of the energy in this wind, but still the potential of 60 mile per hour winds that potentially could be transferred down to the surface of the earth. But when you look at the rotation and spin with it, we don't really have even the broad rotation. Just not too terribly impressive. Still impressive enough, so we still need to watch. Some of these little notches, if you will. We got one there. We've got one there. So we've got one there. Those little notches. You got green towards, red away. So again, nothing too crazy to write home about, and nothing I'm too concerned about right now. You're very welcome, Nikki. Athens, I think you're going to be on the south side of that. Here's a little wider view for you. Oops. So I think Athens, you're about to get some rain showers, but I think the strongest part of the cell, unless it quickly ramps its way northward from Georgetown to Athens, I think you'll be fine. Let's see. We are southeast of Hamilton, south of Ringgold Road. When can we expect this to pass? So if you're in Ringgold, Georgia, you're probably just fine. I think you've already seen it pass. But we do have that tornado warning now that does include Eaton, Chatsworth, and the Dalton area in northern Georgia. I'm not trying to go down to northern Georgia here, but just letting folks know because they're asking anyways. So it's just been hovering right along the Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia border is really all that we've been doing. Is Saudi Daisy going to be hit at all? Saudi Daisy is clear. Saudi Daisy is clear for the night. Granger County, maybe some rain showers as the back edge of this whole thing kind of winds up and moves on through. Let me show you another future cast, a local future cast. I showed you the wide view. Here's your local future cast for the overnight hours. So here we go. Let me just go a little bit slower here for you. So we pick up our timeline now. This is 7 o'clock. It's 6:57, so it's almost 7 o'clock anyways. Again, it's not necessarily the greatest, but it gives us an idea of what to anticipate, I think. And as this upper level system swings in, again, we've got a trough swinging its way in the upper parts of the atmosphere. I still think that we're going to have some rain showers. I don't necessarily think it's going to be severe weather once we get this severe weather potential that we have out there right now. Moving on out, but always a good idea to have a way to receive weather information if you're going to go to bed early tonight or just kind of watch in on the radar. If you're checking in on the, if you're watching sports or some World Cup anyways, check in on the radar before you go to bed. But I really think that this is the bulk of the severe weather potential. Then we're just looking at a heavy rain event. So do anticipate still the potential for some heavier rainfall overnight tonight. And then that dry air starts to settle on in. We'll see some gradual clearing and some sunshine returns tomorrow afternoon. So a little bit better weather is on the way. And some comfortable weather because the air is going to dry out quite a bit as well. Hamilton County, Chattanooga, you are now in the clear. East of downtown Chattanooga, you're really clear. This is starting to work its way into Polk County right now, as well as Bradley County. So Polk, on the eastern side of Bradley County, I should say McMinn County. McMinn and Polk County heads up because Charleston to Benton, Etowah heads up. We've got some stronger cells to your west, but the radar is really showing signs of weakening, at least for our area. Now, let me switch to the Morristown radar. We might be close enough. So we're kind of in between. That's the best radar. So we're kind of in between radars right now. So the National Weather Service has canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Bradley, Hamilton, McMinn, and Polk County. So that storm, as I mentioned, right there is weakening enough that the National Weather Service has now canceled this severe thunderstorm warning. So still some strong gusty winds, still the potential for some, as these winds come on through. But the good news is I think we'll see improving conditions. What about it coming to Knoxville? This storm is not coming to Knoxville per se. Let me show you the big picture. I'll take you to the national radar once again. We've got those storms to our west. And I'll show you, here's a loop over the last hour anyways. And I'll show you a future scan. So here's a future cast of over the next 2 hours, okay? This will kind of give you an idea of what we can anticipate at least over the next 2 hours based on what's going on out there right now. And just so you know, the East Tennessee Weather app, on the cell phone, does just exactly this. Excuse me. It gives you a past, current, and future radar of 2 hours right there on your cell phone. So you can check it on the radar, push play, let it play out for 2 hours, and it gives you a general idea. Again, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it gives us a good idea, which is great to have it when you're at the swimming pools or the lakes. And if you don't have the app, just go to your app store and search East Tennessee Weather. You can't... It's easy to find. Look for the orange TN and the white lightning bolt, and it'll keep you up to date on lightning when lightning's within 15 miles of your location, watches and warnings, live severe weather coverage, like we've been doing here tonight as well. Tonight is the last College World Series game between North Carolina and Oklahoma, but we also have, some World Cup going on here too, Joe, that I've been watching nonstop. How about Strawberry Plains? Strawberry Plains should be just fine. Again, this whole system is going to wind up and move on through, but the stuff that's going on back towards Nashville, it's likely just to be heavy. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's like to be just heavy rain overnight tonight. I really think that's going to be the story here tonight. Stacey, I hope you have a great night as well. Well, okay, so if I was talking about the 50-mile-per-hour winds, if I talk about it in a forecast, it's likely to be at the surface. Now, when I was showing you those winds here just a moment ago, those are going to be up in the atmosphere. And depending on how far away from the radar we are, depends on how high up above the surface that radar beam is. And so you'll hear me say every once in a while, that is going to be 70 miles per hour at radar beam height. And so we have to measure that, and it's typically a couple thousand feet up in the atmosphere, depending on how far from the radar beam you are, because, of course, the Earth is curved, and radar beams are directly due straight. So, anyways, I think we're going to be doing just fine. National Weather Service has now canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. We'll bring you to, I think they have anyways. Let's see. It goes till 7:30. Okay, so they're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning, downgrading it from potential 70-mile-per-hour winds down to 60-mile-per-hour winds out of the storm. Okay, so I believe we still have, according to the National Weather Service, a severe thunderstorm warning. And that would include Polk County and McMinn County on the backside of this. So let's go to the radar. All right, so there's that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, inside that storm, that's where we're seeing some of the strong winds. I don't see a lot of rotation to be concerned about, so I'm not really that concerned there. And yeah, we do have some rotation to the thunderstorm for sure. I mean, it is a thunderstorm that is rotating, but the wind, 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, again, that is further from the radar beam. So when you go to the radar beam, let's see. I'll tell you that right there is shooting that 60 mile per hour wind that I just showed you on the map there. That's shooting at about 5,500 feet above the surface of the Earth. So 5,000 feet above the surface, right? That's right where those clouds are typically. So right at the base of the clouds is where the wind is being measured at 65 miles per hour. So does it necessarily mean that it's being transferred to the surface? Not necessarily the case. Sweetwater outside of McMinn County. I think Sweetwater is going to be fine here. Hold on one second. So Sweetwater is going to be fine. We're all going to get some rain. It's just a matter of letting this severe thunderstorm warning expire and slowly come to an end. I do not see you try to get in. So make sure you click that link, put it in your browser, and you'll be able to get into the chat if you'd like something to share with everybody else. I just threw that on the screen right there. So if you grab that and throw it into a browser, then you can join me live in the chat and tell me what's going on in your area. How's it looking for Roane County the rest of the evening? I think we're going to have some scattered rain showers. We're not going to see the severe weather that we have going on across the Southern Valley, so we'll be fine there. Same with you folks in Sweetwater. So I'd say at this point of the game, Charleston, Etowah, maybe Tellico Plains at best, but anybody south of Tellico Plains, sure, we're going to get the storm to move on through, although it is weakening. It's going to move its way into Ducktown, the McKaysville area, and then over into Murphy, North Carolina. But I think that's going to be it. Tunnel Hill, Georgia is under, I believe it's severe tornado warning. No, your Tunnel Hill, Georgia is in the clear. So you're in the clear in Tunnel Hill, Georgia. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, this evening. Maryville's going to be in the clear. It's south of Maryville, south of Tellico Plains. Tellico Plains, again, may get clipped, as you can clearly see right there on the screen, like basically right here. So I'd say anybody south of this line, stay weather alert. Anybody east of this line, stay weather alert. But anybody north, you are okay for the rest of the night. Well, we're still going to see some rain. I don't think we're going to have the severe weather potential, though. Totally clear in North Knoxville. You're welcome, Madison. So I think for the most part, we're going to wind things down. It's moving into the mountains. It's not really going to be it's going to rock and roll in your neighborhood for a little bit. If you happen to be in the path of this, that's something to kind of keep in mind. Just know that we don't really have much to be too concerned about. But again, a little bit of rotation. We saw those rotating thunderstorms as it moved its way through Chattanooga. Yeah, I really wouldn't be that concerned about tornadoes. We get way less tornadoes here in the east, in East Tennessee, than we do damaging wind gusts. I'd be more concerned about just severe weather in general. I think that's going to be, a lot of folks don't take it seriously, which is so you don't take it seriously sometimes until you're in it, and then you start taking it seriously, and that's sometimes it's just the nature of life, right? About 55-mile-per-hour winds just to the south and southwest of Calhoun, north and northwest of Benton. And we have about, nearly 70-mile-per-hour winds moving its way just to the south of 64 and east of 411. You're welcome, Hilly. All right. So here we go. New severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. So the Weather Service is going to continue to issue on the leading edge of this. So there's our radar and new severe thunderstorm warning now for Cherokee. So we've got Polk County and Cherokee, North Carolina. Polk County and Cherokee, North Carolina, new severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45. And so again, because this has had the history of some strong winds and some bowing out, the National Weather Service decided to issue those. You'll get still some strong winds out there. And really some heavy rain. That's the other side of the story is the precipitation rate with this has been anywhere from 3 to 4 inches per hour. So high rainfall rates leading to tropical-like downpours, which ultimately leads to the potential for some flooding, flash flooding, and or standing water. Although I think we're going to quickly see some improvements. You're welcome, Joe. Hey, Joe, I still have to end this broadcast and do my evening weather update. So I will be recording my evening weather update, talking about the rest of the forecast here for the rest of the week. I will tell you, though, it is going to be fairly smooth sailing. I think we're going to have some showers and thunderstorms here this week, but not tomorrow and not Wednesday. I think the air really starts to dry out and we start to see some nice quiet conditions and some lower humidity. Unlike the high humidity and high dew points that we've had throughout the day today, some lower humidity that's really going to help to make the air feel a lot more comfortable. And then the humidity starts to pick back up towards the end of the week, and That's going to lead to more showers and more thunderstorms with that daytime heating, thanks to just your typical summer-like weather pattern. So, tornado warning in northern Georgia, severe thunderstorm warnings now for Polk County that runs until 7:45, as well as Polk County and I guess just Polk County until 7:45. And then that extends over into Cherokee, North Carolina, for folks that may happen to be joining us from Cherokee, over into the mountains. So this is going to continue to wind down. And by the way, we're working on if you want to become a Witcher weather watcher, as I mentioned earlier, if you didn't have to be on it, you want to be a storm spotter for East Tennessee weather, I should say. You can do so. Just go to easttnweather.com and check out under the weather tab. Look for Witcher weather watchers, and you can become a Witcher weather watcher as well. We're at 81 storm spotters for East Tennessee weather painted across all of East Tennessee. You take the course with the National Weather Service. You send me an email, info@easttnweather.com of your certificate, and I will let you into a private group. You'll get a free T-shirt and a free hat. You become part of a group of a bunch of weather nuts that just like weather all the time. And boy, do they like some weather. But you can do that if you want to join it. And then, of course, you're just helping our society and our community out as well with the National Weather Service. Isaiah says, join us. Come on. It's a good group of people. Really, it is. And it's a lot of information. We're learning a lot of folks on here. Not everyone has the same. Don't be afraid if you don't have the knowledge of weather that you can't join the group, because there's a lot of education that goes on with the group as well. So go take the course. It's online at easttnweather.com under the weather section. Click on Witcher Weather Watchers, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and click on the link. That will take you to the virtual course with the National Weather Service, at which point you send me your certificate to info@easttnweather.com. And it's a growing group of people. National Weather Service now cancels a severe thunderstorm warning for Hamilton County. So Hamilton County has now been taken out of the severe thunderstorm warning. Polk County moving into Ducktown and the mountains of North Carolina and East Tennessee and winding down. I mean, you get a free T-shirt. That's worth it, right? I think so. And we're setting up a big camera network all over East Tennessee. As many of you have seen, I do have a lot of cameras here. So let's go ahead and show you a couple of those cameras here if I can. Cameras like this one. This one is on Norris Lake. So that is Stardust Marina. We'll show you another camera. This one is also on Norris Lake at Beach Island Marina. We've got one at Wares Valley on the peaceful side of the Smokies. We've got one on the busy side of the Smokies. This is a live view from Anakeesta up in the Smoky Mountains. We've got one in Hardin Valley at Orange Hat Brewing Company. You get that one in downtown Gatlinburg, in case you want to check out downtown Gatlinburg. How about downtown Union County from the Maynardville Courthouse? Big shout out to those folks. We've got several in West Knoxville. Looks pretty nice from the East Tennessee Weather Studios right there. Just down the street at Fox Road Marina, we've got mostly cloudy skies. On Fort Loudon Dam, it has been active for sure, but mostly further to the south. That's a live look there at Fort Loudon Dam. How about downtown Clinton? Got a great camera view there. We've got another great one from KMNV Monroe County Airport. And the storm we're talking about actually is on the far right-hand side of the screen. You can see the clouds are a little bit darker. And another great view from LMU, the campus of LMU in Harrogate, Tennessee. So again, we're spreading our wings. We're getting a lot more cameras. We've got a lot more folks joining up the platform to become Witcher Weather Watchers. So again, if you have a great place for a camera, they are free. Hit me up. Info@easttnweather.com. Info@easttnweather.com. And let me know that you have a camera placement for me. And I'd like to get a camera up there if we possibly can and join the group of Witcher Weather Watchers as well. All right, my friends, we are going to, I think, wind things down here a little bit because things are just, they're quieting down. We're going to get a little rough there in Etowah and Benton, Tellico Plains, maybe a little rough at times, but I do think that things will gradually improve. We'll show you the shear product. Let me take a look inside that storm before I let you go. I'm not going to let you go yet, actually. I'm going to keep an eye on this part of the storm right here. So when I click on that, so we're going to keep an eye on this. So just outside of Benton, anybody just to the east of Benton, along Highway 64, north of 64. So we got Archville, we got Probst, if I'm saying that right. We've got McFarland, Turtletown, Harbuck, Chanceytown, Kimsey. Heads up because we do have some rotations showing up now. Getting a little, still broad for sure, but definitely something to keep an eye on there because my shear product is starting to show a little bit of an S shape. And when this product starts to show a little bit of an S shape, that is a little bit more concerning. And then when you circle that location right there, and then you come back over to look inside the storm, where you look at the radar to say, okay, what's going on the radar there? Okay, well, it would be rain wrapped if we were to get anything. And you look in there, okay, well, we have, again, we're at the high top radar. So you've got green towards the radar, which is going to be to our bottom left-hand side of the screen. And then to the top right-hand side of the screen, red away from the radar. So that's going to be your spin in the atmosphere, and everything's starting to line up there. So I want you to stay weather alert here for just a second. And I'm going to stay on here for just a little bit longer based on this. Let's get a couple more radar scans and see what this does for folks joining us from Polk County. And again, I'll be curious to see. I would go on the line of saying Archville, Hambright, Maggie's Mill, Towey, Probst, McFarland. If you're joining us from that part of East Tennessee, how about Epperson, Kataska, Ivy, and Bullet Creek? If I called out those names, just be watching that storm just a little bit for a little bit longer, anyways, from that area. All right, looks like we got somebody that's going to join us from what's your weather watcher? So stand by. Got to turn your camera sideways there, Dan. See if I can't get you on here. Okay, I can see. Once you get your camera set up, let me know. I'll see if we can't get any information in. I think you're frozen there, Dan. So, again, stay weather alert if you're joining us from Polk County. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect, but I'm going to be watching this area on the screen here. Just right along Highway 64, south of 411-33. That's where we have the spin showing up. So because I've highlighted that, looking at the storm on the inside, just going to watch that one a little bit longer. So Hamilton County EMA is reporting 3 houses with trees on them, power poles broken, and wires down mostly around Chattanooga. A few in the Hickson area. It was concentrated near downtown. And if you have any information you want to pass along that's going on there that happened in Chattanooga, go ahead and please pass that along. So again, we're going to be watching this broad rotation right here. Kind of see what this does here. So maybe a little bit tighter there, broadening out one scan later. So got to watch for these radar scans. Every time the new radar scan comes in, you got to diagnose it and take a look inside the storm. Probably had a nice little shelf cloud heading your way anyways. If you're joining us from Bald River Falls, Tellico Plains, you probably have a pretty intense view anyways. Yeah, John, I gotta connect with you, my friend. I don't know enough to pass that along yet. And I know I said I was going to call you, and I apologize, my friend. I have not called you yet, but one day at a time. One day at a time. We'll try to connect, John. Okay, I got you, my friend. I got you. Oh man. Too many balls up in the air. What's up, John? Joining us from Missouri. All right, looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm watch. So let's talk about that here. Not a new one. It was just issued. It was just going up on the screen one more time. So remember, we had that severe thunderstorm watch for the Southern Valley. We've got a line that has been moving its way through Chattanooga, has caused some damage. The line is breaking up. Still some strong winds aloft in the atmosphere. These winds are at about almost 7,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Okay, that's how far away from the radar we are, and so that's where the radar beam's shooting up at about 7,000 feet now from where I took that information. So with that said, not necessarily seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds being transferred down to the surface, but we have a lot of wind aloft that could be transferred down with any of these in any of these showers that are coming through. We do still have a little bit of rotation, but again, it is broad rotation, so not concerned about this rotation. We were watching it. It is moving its way into the mountains, and I think this storm will continue to wind down. But again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning now for Polk County that does run until 7:45 this evening. Everybody else around town, we're seeing no major issues. We have had some pretty good showers up across upper East Tennessee, but rain showers are moving their way back towards Crossville. And if you look even further back to the west towards Nashville, we've got more showers and more thunderstorms back towards Nashville. All this energy in the atmosphere is still going to be working our way. It's still going to be kind of coming up this way, okay? So through the overnight hours, this whole system slides its way to the north and northeast. So still some rain showers, still some thunderstorms possible before the day is over. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I just don't think we're going to necessarily see a lot of severe weather, although we still are under a level 2 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns, a level 1 risk for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. So don't let your guard down, but I do anticipate things to improve here through the overnight hours. So we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Polk County that runs all the way into into Cherokee, North Carolina. That is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have left. The storm is still packing a punch down across the Southern Valley. Some broad rotation as it moves its way into the mountains, but I do not have any major concerns on this storm at this hour. So we're going to wrap things up here this evening. I do appreciate you joining me here tonight. If you happen to be affected by these storms, if you didn't, thanks for checking in. Either way, if you see it on social media, remember, East Tennessee Weather is the fastest growing weather app in East Tennessee. Okay, just know that. Okay, it's all weather all the time for us here in East Tennessee. I run it every single day for us. I want you to stay weather alert. I want you to have the information right there at your fingertips because we are a society of cell phones and instant gratifications, right? And so that's where I want to bring weather information right there to your fingertips. So if you've been with me on Facebook at all tonight, if you've been with me on YouTube at all tonight, and you have not downloaded the app yet, make sure you go to your app store here as soon as you can. Download the East Tennessee Weather app. Just go search East Tennessee Weather. Look for the orange TN and the white lightning bolt under a black background there. Allow location services and notifications because it works anywhere in the country for your summer vacations. If you're at the pools or the lakes, you'll get a lightning notification when lightning is within 15 miles. That's kind of like your first line of defense. And then I can send you push notifications if I do live severe weather coverage, as I did tonight for some folks. And if you had the app and you're like, well, I didn't get the notification because tonight from your push notification, There's a reason why, because I can geofence you. I didn't want to bother everybody in East Tennessee, just the folks down across the Southern Valley who have been affected by the storm here tonight. So Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and YouTube. You can put East Tennessee weather up on the big screen at your house as well, so you don't always have to watch on your cell phones. It is family friendly. We are all weather, no news. So your kids can watch it as well as you get ready for work and school. I broadcast Monday through Friday at 7:30 in the morning for a live weather update. We have a lot of fun. We have guests come to the show as well. And we just like to have a lot of fun. So East Tennessee weather, if you're joining tonight and you just found me or you've been following for a long time and you don't have the app, go download the app. And don't forget to go subscribe to YouTube as well. Really helps to populate the platform. Plus, if you click the notification on YouTube, every time I issue a new forecast, which I'll get ready to do here in a little bit, you'll be notified on your cell phone or email or however you have that set up. So East Tennessee weather, it's the fastest growing weather platform right here in our own backyard. It's for us here in East Tennessee and only us, but travels wherever you go, which is a great resource if you do travel for your job or pleasure or vacation. All right, one last time. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Polk County until 7:45. This goes into North Carolina and Cherokee until 7:45. The storm is weakening. It's breaking up. It's starting to die down. I'm confident enough to leave you here tonight, but I really sure hope you have a great night tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the live broadcast. And again, if you like this platform, like and share with everybody you know and trust, or just everybody you know anyways. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap things up. Let's have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.